systems are those food systems that aim at achieving food and nutrition security and healthy diets while limiting negative environmental impacts and improving socio-economic welfare. This conference is mainly focusing on making everyone understand science, technology, and innovation for the sustainable food system. And moreover, this pandemic taught us the value of food and how food can be important to each and every life. This situation also reshaped people's view of extending shelf life of food and renewed science of urgency towards long-term sustainability goals. Now, let us start the session. First of all, I would like to welcome all the chief guests, Dr. Chindi Vasudevappa, Dr. Kumar Ranganathan, and Dr. C. Ananda Ramakrishnan to the International Online Conference on Science, Technology and Innovation for Sustainable Food System. Now, I would like to welcome all the dignitaries, Dr. M. Y. S. Prasad, Dr. G. Srinivas Rao, Dr. M. Ramesh Naidu, and Dr. Sandeep Singh Rana for inaugural ceremony. Firstly, I would like to welcome Dr. M. Ramesh Naidu, convener and head of the Department of Chemical Engineering of EFSTR, to speak a few words. Sir, please.
Very good morning, one and all. So myself, Dr. Ramesh Naidu, Head, Department of Chemical Engineering. Under Department of Chemical Engineering, we are offering the 4 years BTech course in food technology. So it's my pleasure to invite you all for the International Conference on Science, Technology, Innovation for Sustainable Food System 2020. Okay. .400 participants from different institutions spread over 30 institutions. Okay. The main aim of this concept is to give a platform for the different research fellows who are carrying out the research activities for the sustainable food development. So in this conference, we are organizing poster section as well as oral presentation. At the same time, expert lectures by the different keynote speakers. Okay. So as a convener of the conference, I request you all to participate in good number. At the same time, you can suggest the all research scholars how to develop a sustainable food system. With this, I conclude my speech. So requesting all the participants to take active part in all the sections of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. M. Y. S. Prasad, Vice Chancellor of Vigyan Foundation for Science, Technology and Research, to speak a few words. Sir, please.
Thank you. Good morning, all of you. I'm very happy to participate in the International Online Conference on Science, Technology and Innovation for Sustainable Food Systems. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, on behalf of VFSTR, I welcome all the participants, especially the chief guests, Dr. Chindi Vasudevappa, Dr. Kumar Ranganathan, Dr. C. Ananda Ramakrishnan for this conference. The aims of your conference are very good, especially sustainability. In view of the environmental changes, what we are seeing, the sustainability of agriculture and food systems will become a serious issue for the future. So the concepts what you have put for the conference that the economic sustainability, social sustainability, and environmental sustainability of food technologies and the science and technology and innovation related to food technologies is very, very important. Though this is an international conference, I have a feeling that the food and food related technologies are more diverse in each region. In fact, in each locality. It cannot be the same all over the world, and it cannot be the same across the countries. Even within India, we know there are a lot of changes between one region to another region. So the essential thing what you should look at is the diversity of the food systems in terms of the lifestyles, in terms of production, in terms of supply, and in terms of the preferences. So the way forward for India should be, how do you make the technologies, food technologies affordable and available and as a part of rural industry? This is important because unless the rural industry picks up, unless rural population demand increases, there cannot be growth and there cannot be sustainability for any industry. Food industry is more so. Fortunately, we have a large population, which means there is a large demand as well as a large workforce. And unfortunately, our workforce is not fully occupied in the rural areas. So this is an opportunity for food technologists to improve the rural industries and move the lifestyle of the people towards more consumption of packaged foods and prepared foods so that food industry can increase and food technologies can increase and contribute to the society. I feel that should be the direction into which you should all think for a long term. As far as this conference is concerned, I'm pretty sure that you all must be contributing towards the goals of the conference on the economic sustainability, social sustainability, and environmental sustainability of the food science and technology. Especially for the students who are participating, I advise this is a rare opportunity for you to get so many of the experts in the field. So actively participate, try to get all your doubts cleared. And in a university, very characteristic of university is the autonomy and freedom to discuss. So you should all discuss the academic issues and try to contribute towards the research organizations and the industry. With these few words, once again, I welcome all of you and I wish the conference a very good progress and success. And I wish all of you to have a extensive debates and presentations during the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable time. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. G. Srinivasa, Dean R&D of Vigyan Foundation for Science, Technology and Research, to speak a few words. Sir, please.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you
sir.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good morning to one and all. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. M.Y.S. Prasad Garu, respected Head of the Department, Dr. M. Ramesh Naidu Garu, and respected dignitaries of this conference, participants from Vigyan University and other universities. Very good morning to one and all. This is Dr. G. Srinivasa Rao, serving as a Dean, Research and Development in VFSTR University. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the participants for attending this conference and willing to present their work before an eminent researchers. I also would like to congratulate Dr. M. Ramesh Naidu Garu for organizing this conference on science, technology, and innovation for sustainable food systems. Because this year itself, We have organized 6 conferences, and this one is the seventh conference related to food technology. I feel conference is the place where in which one can share their ideas or the culture with others. But yeah, pandemic period, it gives us a caution about the nature and quality of the food which we are taking in 2 days. India's strength in agriculture are many and diverse. The second largest arable land area and as many as 127 diverse agroclimatic zones give us global leadership in number of crops like bananas, mangoes, guavas, papayas, and okra. We are the second globally in terms of the production of rice, wheat, fish, fruits, and vegetables. India is also the world's biggest milk producer. Our horticulture section has shown an average growth rate of 5.5% annually over the last 10 years. India produces nearly 16% of the world's total food grain production. It is one of the largest producers of agriculture produce with a population expected to reach about 590 million people by 2030 in urban India. So India has a huge potential domestic demand for processed foods other than demand from the exports. So I am requesting all the food engineers try to work particularly in the area of food processing because it is a need of the day. And hope this conference will give some focus on this food processing technologies and it also give some solutions to the problems which are existing particularly in processing the food. At last but not least, I can say work is the worship to the God bless you all, and I am requesting the eminent persons who are participating in this conference try to give as many webinars as possible to the benefit of our chemical and other food related students in future. So as a Dean R&D, I'm requesting all of you to participate this conference uh, actively and try to make it as a grand success. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this conference.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable time. Now, I'm honored to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Chindi Vasudevappa, Vice Chancellor of National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management. Dr. Chindi Vasudevappa, a fisheries graduate from the College of Fisheries from the Mangalore University of Agricultural Sciences. The doctoral degree was obtained from the Cochin University of Science and Technology in the year 1993. Initially, he worked as an extension specialist in spreading aquaculture technology in various districts of Karnataka. Later, as a senior fisheries scientist involved in research and development with funding support from various national and international organizations, especially from the Indian Council of Agricultural Research and Department of Biotechnology and European Commission. Dr. Vasudevappa was awarded with Junior and Senior Fellowship of Indian Council of Agriculture Research and also received Young Scientist Award in 1987 by Asian Fisheries Society and the Best Extension Worker Award in 1987 by the University of Agriculture Science in Dharwad. Dr. Vasudevappa worked as a Chief Scientific Officer and a Senior Executive Director and Chief Executive of NFDB, Dean of Postgraduate Studies, Vice Chancellor of University of Agriculture and Horticultural Sciences in Shimoga. Presently, Dr. Vasudevappa working as a Vice Chancellor of National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. Chindi Vasudevappa to speak a few words. So, please.
Sir, kindly unmute. Thank you, sir. Sir,
So,
not audible, sir.
Hello, is it okay?
Yes, sir. It is fine, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
So,
sir.
yeah, good morning, all of you. And it's really great that the young university has started something, especially on food technology. That's a very good initiative by Vigyan University. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Deans, and senior officers of the university. I feel it's really good, especially the topic which you have selected with regard to the sustainable food systems. I think it is something which is very, very important. Let me just share my screen with you so that I can just explain few things, which would be share. उसमें है this is the one. Is it visible? Hello?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. I think we'll move on. I desire to speak about food loss and food waste. So, which I think is something which is happening in a very big way. So, I know any sustainability depends on how much we produce, how do we use it, how do we avoid the waste, and how do we even recycle some of these wastes. I think probably that's where the sustainable food system work. In fact, all of you know, India is a huge country with a huge production of around 900 million tons of food, and the sectors are too many. Maybe because of the diversity, both in terms of region, in terms of the soil conditions, in terms of the water availability, in terms of temperature profiles, climatic issues. That is the reason probably India is blessed with a huge diversity in terms of foods. So, in order to utilize this properly, how is that we should be doing? And how we should take it forward. That's what I think is the requirement of the day. So probably if you look at if in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, if you just say once he said, to a man with a empty stomach, food is God. That means we need to respect food for everything. Should produce it in a sufficient quantity with good quality, and we should not waste it, and we should also use it very efficiently, store it for future. All these things would happen, especially when it matters food. So that is where I think the sustainability issues are counted. Of course, if you look at the things which I have showing is the food production, which is a large driver of the environmental change in India. I know environment depending on, I would say, because why, for producing more food, we are using land. Sometimes we misuse the land, use water, and also the environmental conditions, and a lot of the waste are brought back into the system. All these things happen. That means food production systems need to be properly understood to reduce the wastage. And if we can reduce the waste by say about 50%, this is in line with the SDGs across the whole world. Food supply chain is something which is the need of the hour, which we can really focus and try to get in a lot of production systems in place, sustainable systems. Probably this is where the relevance of in the Indian context, if you look at probably 670 lakh tons of food worth 92,000, more than 92,000 crores is wasted annually. And we are this ranking 7th in food wastage across the whole globe. That means we are, though we are a developing country, a lot of food is wasted up to the tune of something like about 40 or 50%. So how do we bring in back this food waste into wealth? That is something which is very, very important. According to, of course, the Ministry of Agriculture, if you look at probably the amount of food wasted annually is greater than the Britain's, I would say, total food production. So that means the wasted food in India can feed the entire Britain. So that's where I think we need to be very, very conscious and sincere in this. And probably, according to UNDP, if you look at probably from the farm to plate, total food loss amount to 40% of the total food produced. So that means it's a huge thing, which is also very important for the Indian context. And of course, of the people that starve to death globally, I think 25% come from India. This is where I think we need to be cautious, because our the global the India's, I would say, the hunger index is it's very high. We are at 103 place, third place. Imagine, that means so many people are dying, and we are producing, we claim that we produce more, but how do we are not properly using it, or not properly storing it, or not quality concerns are not there. This is creating a big problem everywhere. So that's where I think we need to be very conscious. If you look at the food waste in the global perspective, of course, so according to FAO, approximately 1/3 of the food that is produced, that is 1.3 billion tons of food that is produced for human consumption, is lost. So that means a huge quantity, which in terms of the US dollars, if you look at, probably I think it is 936 billion US dollars, which is wasted, which is not utilized properly. So the amount of food loss and waste is sufficient to alleviate 1/8 of the world population. That means the hunger, which is now prevalent, or it's because of various issues, can be reduced to less than 2 or 3%, which otherwise is very high. So ongoing effort for food wastage to control the food waste and loss, if you look at, probably one is the policy initiatives, which are very important. Second is the technological initiatives, and third is the awareness. In fact, the policy initiatives are like, for example, now we are wasting a lot of food through functions, through weddings, through ceremonies and things like that. Limit on number of guests, which is happening in Delhi. So they are very strict on that. Food safety and quality assurance infrastructure. I think this is something which is very, very important, which of course the Ministry of Food Processing Industries is taking up in a very big way through various schemes for improving the food safety and quality assurance infrastructure, which could start right from the post-harvest to the pre-processing, processing, value addition, including the logistics, and then the storage in different regimes, temperature regimes, and all that. That is very, very important. And modifying the labeling for use. So this is something which the Honorable Vice Chancellor was mentioning. We need to process food, and processed food is not inferior to the food grains which are produced and directly used as food. Why I tell this is, always processing adds value to the food. So that if it can be done, if it can be properly understood, probably I think food waste can be reduced to a greater extent. Technologically, if we are speaking, probably this U-Chopal aggregation logistics, these are very, very important to bridge, especially the financing part of it, which also is very, very important in the whole context. And of course, India has, the Ministry of Food Processing Industries has come up with mega food parks, which is on a spoke model, wheel and spoke. I think this is where probably the aggregation, the pre-processing, then processing, secondary processing, tertiary processing, and maybe addressing the market issues, I think is something very, very important. Of course, zero energy cool chambers, these things are becoming very, very important, especially to utilize the non-conventional energy, which is which can be harnessed best in India. And maybe because the Chinese, they are very big experts in this, and using most of the for most of the activities, the solar energy. Probably that day should come in India, and that should be taken up in a very big way. So that apart, I think awareness building is something always very important. NGOs like Robin Hood Army or Roti Bank and things like that, which can be formed. Probably, I think that will have the excess food or unutilized food can be brought in, and then distribution channels can be created. Save food, share food. That's very important. And share joy initiative. This is something which some of the NGOs, they are looking for, and unwanted food to community food banks. I think these are all things where the excess food or unutilized food or the food that is wasted, to be wasted, I would say, not wasted, to be wasted, can be brought back and recycled. And of course, organic food also is gaining momentum these days, especially to address the sustainable dining. This is very, very important. Then the gaps and challenges for food loss and wastage, if you look at probably, I think the technical outreach is something which is very, very important. Though technologies, we claim a lot of technologies, but it is not reaching the people who are supposed to understand this and bring in a concept into their mind so that food is not wasted. That is one thing which is very, very important. Of course, I don't want to list down all the technologies which are quite a large in number. And I would say that these are the technologies where which are directly useful for the farming community or even to the consumers. So insufficient food supply chain logistics. This is something which is addressed in a very big way in India, I would say. Now the logistics especially could be the reefer vans or even the train wagons and things like that. So these things are coming up in a very big way, especially for addressing issues related to the foods which are which can spoil very fast, like the fruits, vegetables, the milk, the meat, fish, and all that. These things, the sector is slowly getting well developed. In fact, the perishables are very, very important because they contribute more than 50% of the food produced in the country. That apart, of course, mismatch between the requirements and I would say the existing ones, whatever that is to be there. I think this is always, these things will be addressed as a policy or as a funding support or as a sort of an initiative which can really be taken. And of course, finally, the consumer awareness is something which is very, very important. Probably consumers need to be enlightened on use of the processed foods, which otherwise earlier we were thinking processed foods are only the stale foods, which is leftover is processed. No, now the best food is processed and that is taken to the plates to the of the consumer through a process or a value chain or a supply chain process. That need to be properly, awareness has to be built on that. And stakeholders in food loss and wastage, I think all of us are stakeholders here. I would say could be the government, could be the professional associations, including the farmers, probably the academic and research institutions. We are supposed to be giving technologies in a proper way and reach the people and how to reduce the wastage, or if the wastage is there, how to convert them into some sort of a value added products. I think that is something which is very, very, very important from the government side. And food business and industry associations, I think industries are they command a big chunk of food, which probably I think the food that is wasted while processing, the processing waste to be converted and probably brought into the system. And of course, farmers and farmer associations. This is where I think the production loss is happening across the whole entire food production system, right from sowing to harvest, post-harvest, value addition, and all that. That's where I think the farmers, especially as per the UN report, about 20% of the food that is produced is wasted as we are losing the production potential of the soil. Has to be taken care. And the development partners, of course, there are many of them who join together. Could be the NABARD, could be any organization, NCDC, and things like that. These are all the organizations and the partners in even the government, state governments, and all that. They need to be well aware. Professional associations, of course, I need not mention in detail. Consumer organizations and media. This is one thing which is very important to bring awareness among the citizens of the country and the consumers, which is very, very important. I would say this is something which is need to be kept in mind. And food loss and waste in food supply chain, if you look at probably both in developing and developed countries, probably I think the loss, what is happening at the production and the handling and storage is high in developing countries, whereas the food loss when the food is eaten or consumption time, that time it is very high in the developed countries. So that means both these things are very, very important. I would say they, all the developed countries produce 56% of the world food loss and waste, whereas developing countries produce only about 44%. That means we are still less, but we need to reduce it to less than 15 or 10%. That's where the challenge remains. It is very, very important here. So the packaging part has to be given a lot of importance for a quality for the processed quality food. That is very, very important. Of course, establish ways to even use some of the waste like peels, trimmings, and things like that, and which is very, very important. So here there are 4 or 5 steps which are, I would say, which need to be focused. One is reduce, especially reducing the amount of food that is produced. I think that is something which is very, very important. Using materials repeatedly as a sort of a reuse, I think this is something which again is very important. Recycling, again, using materials to make new products. So that's what probably we are focusing. And recovering the energy from the waste, so that can be reused. And of course, landfill is the last option, which I would say, especially the waste which cannot be even converted into anything, can go as a sort of a manure through a landfill process or through a composting process. So always let's remember, a grain saved is better than a grain produced, because we should not waste any grain which is produced, which is important for, and I would say, overcoming the hunger and malnutrition in the country. So with this, thank you very much. Thanks for everybody. Let us join together to reduce the waste and also make the food systems more sustainable and robust. So that's what I thought I should share with all of you. Thank you very much.
Presentation. We really appreciate you taking out time for us from your busy schedule.
Sir, can you unshare your screen, sir, please?
Okay.
So stop sharing.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. You can go ahead now.
Sir, still we can't, sir. Sir, you have to stop sharing, sir.
Yeah.
Stop sharing.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation. And we really appreciate you taking out time for us from your busy schedule. It's always been our pleasure to have you with us, and we look forward to see you again for the upcoming events.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I'm privileged to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Ananda Ramakrishnan, Director of Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology. Shekhar, please.
Good morning to all the dignitaries and my friends. This is Shekhar of Final Year Food Technology, and I'm pleasure and honor to introduce Dr. C. Anand Ramakrishnan. Dr. Anand Ramakrishnan is presently the Director of Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology, IFPT, Tanjore, from 2016. Before being appointed as the Director of IFPT, he was Principal Scientist and Coordinator for the Academy of Scientific and Innovative Research, ACSR, at CSIR, CFTRI. He obtained BTech in Chemical Engineering from AC Tech, Anna University, Chennai, and completed MTech at Anna University, Chennai. He has done his doctoral research in Chemical Engineering with specialization in Food Engineering at Loughborough University of United Kingdom. During his PhD, he was awarded with prestigious Commonwealth Scholarship Program of Government of United Kingdom. Dr. Anand Ramakrishna is the elected Fellow of National Academy of Sciences, FNASC, Fellow of National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, NAASS, Fellow of Royal Society of Chemistry, FRSC, Fellow of Royal Society of Biology, FRSB, Fellow of Association of Food Scientists and Technologies, India, the Institute of Engineers, FIE. He serves as the Associate Editor of International Journal of Food Engineering, Academic Editor of Plus One Journal, International Editorial Advisory Board Member for Drying Technology Journal, Editorial Board Member of various international journals, and as a peer reviewer for more than 20 international journals. He has received several other awards, including Dr. B.D. Tilak Chenmont Distinguished Speaker Award 2016 from the Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers. Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, please.
Thank you so much for inviting me to give this presidential address and respected Honorable Vice Chancellor MYS Professor and Ramesh Naidu, Head Chemical Engineering Department, and Dean Srinivasa Rao, and all the dignitaries, along with our Professor Cindy Vasudevappa, my colleague at Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Once again, thank you so much, and good morning to everyone. And it's a wonderful topic for organizing the conference on Science, Technology, and Innovation for Sustainable Food System 2020. Really is a good thing, because when United Nations is telling about to make all the system more sustainable development goals, we need to think how to make it our food industry is more sustainable. And definitely science, technology, and innovations play the vital role to make food industry more sustainable, especially Indian food industry. What is happening in Indian food industry? If you look at India, food industry is the 6th largest consumer market in India. It is employs almost 19% of the total workforce, and it ranks 5th in the country. And almost the last 5 years, if you look at our growth rate in this sector is almost 10%, all the subsector including. And we are world number 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, almost dairy, marine, meat, fruits, food grains, oils, all we have produced very well. And this year we have produced even surplus production. We ranked number 2 in the total food production in the globe. Is it enough, or how to go ahead in the future? That's a big challenge in front of us. And India, if you look at one large scale industry, what I talked about a little bit earlier, now if you look at our micro food processing enterprises, almost 25 lakh micro food processing enterprises in India. But this 25 lakh micro food processing is unorganized sector. It is not come into the organized manner. And our MSME sector, including electronics, textile, all together, we are world number 2 next to China. But this is the important one what the Vice Chancellor has mentioned about. This is the one is connecting the farm gate to the large industry. This will generate more employment. This will generate more local economy. That's what we need to think. If you wanted to build a local economy and local employment, we need to upgrade. We need to link this micro food processing enterprises to the larger industry. We need to connect the farm gate to the large industry, large supply chain. How to do that? If we are able to do that, then yes, we can make it a sustainable food industry. That's what I'm going to talk about next, maybe another 15-20 minutes. For me, it is a sustainable strategy. If you look at one is the raw material availability, including the water. That's the one thing we need to think. Any plan, if you wanted to think the food industry for the future of the food industry, we need to think raw material. Without raw material, you can't do that anything. And whatever we are taking the food right now in your plate travels, 1/3 of the product is travels more than 1,000 kilometers. Think about 1,000 kilometers some product is traveling, either raw material or the finished product. How much amount of carbon footprint add on to that? And the cost add on to that. One. Second thing is water. I will come and explain the later stage how the water play the role in the food industry. Consumer preference and market demand. We never understand what consumer want to know. Consumer totally changed. Earlier days, we used to take food for the energy. That's what we looked at, carbohydrate and all. Later, we move on to the nutrition. Yes, we wanted a protein, fiber. These are the nutraceutical and all the things is started. Now people wanted using the food for soul. They want to take the food. They wanted to keep pleasure whole day. They wanted to enjoy when they eat the food. The consumer mind is entirely changing. Our food industry is totally changed towards that. That we need to think. If we are not changing, depends on the consumer demand is a question mark comes for the industry. So sustainability is a big question there. Technological upgradation. Until unless time to time, if you are not upgrading our technology, you can't sustain in the market. Your product can't sustain in your market. Your industry can't sustain in the market. And supply chain management. Most of the first 3 years, we looked into our syllabus, and we are teaching our student. Even industry, we never looked into supply chain. Yes, we produced, we given to the traders in the market, we pumped it. What is happening in the total supply chain management? Can we call back some of the product? if something goes wrong after that? No. We don't have such system in India. Traceability. What is the system in place to trace the product? Each product comes out from the industry to reach each and every consumer point. Or we have the blockchain management type of system to monitor? No. So how to go ahead? Our nutritional security. Yes, it is important. And the regulations. You start something today on industry, tomorrow regulators comes and tell, no, this is what we have wanted to bring the new regulations. What happened to your industry? So we need to keep eye on what is the regulation right now. What is the regulation is going to come for next 5 years time. Then yes, your industry will sustain. We will go and see one by one how it is works out in the present scenario. One is the raw material availability. If you look at what we have the product right now, we need throughout the globe 70% more food is required because our population is going to reach 9 billion. 70% food where we'll get with the same amount of the cultivation area, same amount of the production rate. The wastage also is there, what our VCS mentioned about it. We need 80% more water. Right now, we are using only 3% of the water is used, potable water is for agro processing purpose. We need another 80% water. Where we'll get? And wastage, yes, 1.3 billion tons of the product is wasted. Look at in India, almost 1 lakh crore worth of the food is wasted during the storage, during the transport, come to the processing, then come to your plate. All together wastage. So we need to think to minimize the wastage, effective utilization of the water, and how to enhance our raw material productivity for meeting out the 70% more food in the future 2050. It is not far. It's another 30 years time. We need to well ahead. We need to plan for that. Otherwise, you know that already water is trading. You would have seen yesterday or 2 days back, Wall Street already started trading the water as a commodity. That should not happen for all the commodities. Then it will be very, very difficult situation we are going to face throughout the globe. Look at what is our share in the global level. What we produce the fruits, 90 million metric tons we produce the fruits. Out of that, only 1.2% only our world's share. Look at China, 4.2%. Spain is a very small country, 8% share in the world market in the fruits. Vegetable is not very good at all. You can look at here, again 1.6% on the world share. Netherlands, a small country, 10.5% share. Look at our meat export, 6.3%. Brazil is doing 25% the world share in the meat export. Why can't India? That's what we need to think. We need to put strategically well. And where is the problem? That is the point we need to pin. And we need to work out how best we can enhance the 6.3% to the 25%. It is not that difficult. If you look at here, we have done it very well in the grains. We are already doing it 28%, very well in the grains. Why can't we do it of fruits, vegetable, and even meat? Again, we have done good at spice. We are world number 1 in the spice trading, 18% in the world trade. We are doing it. So that's what my request. We need to do that 3 commodities means we need to think what is the world need. That's what, if you look at both together, for example, whole Europe, 2017, what they imported the biscuit worth is 3.7 billion amount. What is the share of India is only 1.2 million US dollar worth. It is not even 1%, 0.003%. Think about even we are increasing to 5%, it can become 183 million additional revenue can be generated for our country. Then question comes, where is the problem? We are highest amount of the wheat production, almost 100 million tons of the wheat we produce, 270 lakh ton of the sugar. What is the issue of converting wheat and sugar into the biscuit? Issue is, what is European consumer wanted the biscuit? We are unable to produce. Second one is the packaging, the technological input, what is went on now, that we are unable to understand the whole supply chain management. If we are able to do that, yes, we can increase our export market. Then everybody in this business will get benefit out of such type of scenario. Look at here. What is we produce 280 million tons of the food grains? When 2035 world or India population is going to be 150 crore, we need additional 150 million tons of the food grain. Is it possible? Big question mark. Because every year we could able to increase maximum 2 million tons of the food grains, not more than even 5 million tons. Then how to go ahead for these another very short time, 20 years time? How to do that this game? It's a big question mark. Vegetable, milk, fruits, pulses, all the things, if we are unable to fill that gap, then we have to import. No other way. When we start import, then everyday fixation of the rate also is going to be there. So we need to think how to do that. One is, yes, whatever available, we need to make it a more processable conditions. Second one is, we need to see that how best we can effectively utilize without the zero wastage. Then it's possible to fill some extent. Then we need to look alternative source. For example, protein. Why we have to go for only milk? Can we have alternative source of the protein? So we need to think all the alternatives. So that gives some bit gap filling. So that's what we need to think how best we can do that. The second sustainability strategy as of mine is a consumer preference. This is the what consumer want. Customization. I want my food to be customized. I want this is the protein, this is the fiber, this is the carbohydrate, this is the energy I need. My son wants this much. My daughter wants this much. Can I prepare like this? Now, presently, what is happening in our food industry? It is a single recipe is prepared in one corner of R&D throughout the globe. Wherever you go, the chocolate what you are buying right now, the same recipe in Melbourne, is same recipe in Delhi, in Tanjavur or Guntur or in the London. It's not the case. Even I want different chocolate than my son. Is it possible to do that such type of industry scale? Big question mark. Nutrition, I said earlier, is a personalized nutrition. Everything is changing into the personalized form. A novel product range of value. I will explain the coming slide. Convenience and taste. Look at only one industry last 8 months is not gone in India. Negative growth is food industry. More than anything else, our ready to eat, ready to cook products demand is increased more than 35%. That is because of convenience and taste and ethical food choice. I am a responsible citizen in the country. What I buy the product as produced ethical manner, no child labor in that industry. They have to follow all the norms, including the reducing the carbon footprint, reduce the wastage. If that industry says, yes, I will buy that product. The simple example recently launched on mobile phone. They have not provided the charger this time. They told something, yes, we are responsible industry. We don't want to dump some of the material to the environmental things. So that is what people are thinking, and that even people wanted to buy. Yes, I am a responsible person. Yes, I'll take that challenge. That's what even food choices also is going on, and the brand trust. Brand is everywhere. Now it comes to food also. Branded food, it's moving very, very rapidly, especially local, organic, that type of branding. Yes, you can see that 10 years back, we never heard about organic foods. Now, organic foods is the brand value for some of the commodities. Is it possible to do that in all commodities? That is what is a consumer preference is going. If consumer is so confused like that, how to sustain our industry? That is the big challenge we need to think. For example, I will give a few examples. One is the sonic enhanced food. Like we used to see the food, first we look at the eye, then nose, then it comes to your tongue. Nose, eye and tongue. Now, one more candidate also is coming to that. That is your ears. When sound is there, you enjoy the food. For example, one restaurant in UK, they served the fish along with the seesaw sound in the plate. They are taken 3 times higher than the normally what they're supposed to take. So they enjoy the sound. So that's what now how to create a sonic enhanced food. It's a great challenge. Right now, if you look at the Indian industry, most of the food industry, the profit margin is maximum 5 to 10%, not more than that. If you wanted to increase the profit margin. This is the one way of look into that. Yes, sonic enhanced food. Alternative to meat, can we create a meat-like structure, texture? Is possible. Now people wanted to look, yes, after COVID, yes, meat may be having some COVID, if especially for processed meat. It is imported from the other countries, for example, neighboring country. People don't want to buy. Can we create a meat-like structure? Yes, it's possible. We have done work at IFPT. We created the alternative meat using the same. Whatever I given the oil seed protein, cereal protein, legumes, and we can play around that. Only thing we need to make it texturized protein. That is the one key element there. How to do that? Denatured protein, we do a texturized protein along with the fat and oil flavor, everything you add it. You pack and give as a meat. Yes, that demand is continuously increasing. And yes, another way is lab grown meat. Take the stem cells from the animal, grow the meat at lab. They recently also they launched all the big chains already. Burgers are come from the this type of lab grown meat. And milk alternative. Yes, what God creates, the milk is a wonderful one. It's a wonderful emulsion. We don't have till date alternative to mother's milk. Can we have one? No, we can't create. We can't challenge the God, what is created. But we can go close to that. Yes, but it's a big challenge. When you create the milk, can our milk, that liquid with the fat, can stay for the 6 months without separating the oil and fat? No fluctuation, no fast separation. It's possible to do. Yes, it's do. But provided we need to give the surfactant to put that ionic strength such a level, the low surfactant and the ionic strength is repulse each other to keep the emulsion well. For example, coconut is a wonderful crop and it has the medium chain fatty acids are good for our health. It has the protein. Why we are unable to create this industry bigger in India? For example, our neighboring country is not growing the coconut well, but they imported from other countries. They processed in there, they're dumping into India. You can go to any malls now, take that any can of coconut milk, you can see the manufacturers where it is. Issue is how to create the natural like emulsions. We can create soya already we have done, rice, hemp, oats. Yes, these are the product. Yes, it's possible to create. And I said earlier, we need to look alternatives. One such alternatives is the alternative to protein, like for example, the insect. Why not we consider insect as alternative protein source? For example, 10 kg of the feed, insect will produce 9 kg of the meat. For the animal will produce 1 kg of the meat. Out of the 9 kg, we'll get 72% of the protein. 1 kg of the meat will get only 52% of the protein. Grasshopper already we are taking in our country. Why not we will make it as a big industry we can make. We don't need to take. You can export it. People are taking. A lot of other countries, they used to take the insect as a food. It's a good supplement to their proteins. So how to do that? That is the big challenge. How to take it the soluble proteins from the insect. That is the challenge. Institute like a Vinyan University, IFPT or NIFTAM or CFTR, we need to work together. We need to see that what are the other alternative protein sources and how to get such type of protein for the supplements. For example, this is a recent study in the US. They said 56% of the population wanted to buy only superfoods. Turmeric, hemp, chia. You look at most of the superfoods, what they want, origin is from India. Very few are left. But some of the product, what I mentioned about earlier is a hemp. This is a very good seed. It has the balance with omega-3 and omega-6. Some people are telling when they take the hemp seed, they feel pleasure. We don't have scientific evidence they're saying like that. Why? What is happening there? So we need to think. Again, chia seed. Anandapur district in Andhra, they're cultivating. Even Karnataka, they're doing. Because our body can't synthesize omega-3 fatty acids, we have to supplement from externally. Is it possible to do from the chia? Chia is alpha-linoleic acid. So that's what we need to think how to do that. And the technological upgradation, waste utilization. We have developed, IFPT has developed India's first indigenous food 3D printer. And even we have come up with the first scientific publications. Now almost 10 papers we published on the only for the 3D food printers, because this may be the future. We need to think how best this can be converted in the homemade 3D printer. What we developed this 3D printer cost is almost 1 lakh rupees. So we wanted to reduce to the close to the 50,000 rupees. Is it possible to do? If you're able to do that, each home, they can keep it this 3D printer. They can print whatever they wanted at their home. For example, they wanted to print the chocolate, evening snacks. It is a possible to print at home itself. But only thing, that matrix, the feeding matrix, the food matrix, we need to convert into. We have done for the egg into the printable form. We have done the chicken into the printable form. It is possible to do all these things. So we need to put a lot of effort on that. So like this, we need indigenous machineries. If you look at last year's, we imported more than 2,000 crore worth of the food machinery to India. So we need to supplement that on how to enhance that indigenous food machinery. For example, here, chicken does not have the fiber. What we did, we taken the chicken, we taken the fiber from the butter mushroom, we printed the, you can create that butterfly structure, then you can create same structure of the snacks kids will like to eat. Even we converted egg into the same form, and you can look at the fiber is 17%, 10% of the protein in the snack. It is possible to print. Again, from the waste, we can able to print, and we move on to that. That's what we need to think. And apart from the 3D food printer, we need to think how best we can use the technologies like a cold plasma, pulse electric field, high pressure processing like almost 30 years old technology, but still industry scale India is not taking up. Why? We need to support from the institute side. IFPT has started a center of excellence in non-thermal processing. Almost all the equipments are housed there. They're going to house. And including irradiation, cold plasma, we are the leading in India. So we need to think how best we can utilize this system for retaining the maximum nutrient and convenient food, how to bring from that. And food structure is the one area we need to think in the technological front. Oral processing, we prepare the food, stop from mouth. We need to see what is happening beyond the mouth. What is the oral behavior interlinking with the digestion, and what is happening in your stomach, what is happening in absorption. Look at these are the systems are available throughout the globe, like a stomach, artificial human digestive system, like a stomach and intestine. And we decided to construct one system for our country. When I was in CFTRI, I started working on this, and we scan the MRI scan of human volunteers. Then 3D image has been created from the MRI image, then 3D printed, then molded. And this is the stomach what we created here. And you can see this is the normal stomach in the human stomach. And this the contraction takes place after the meal has been given. This is the air gaps pushes the meal down. Same thing has been created here, and we validated the glucose in vivo and engineer model. We develop our own model to predict the human glucose response in our engineered systems. And we have done both the intestinal system and the stomach system. This is the Asia's first system. We can calculate glycemic index, disintegration kinetics, how the particles observes, what is the glucose response. All the things can be done in this system. Anyone wanted to do the research on that, we can support that. So this is what we need to look, how technological support can improve our industry. Right now, people are looking into going to the hospitals, get per sample more than 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, they have to spend for study only one glycemic response. But here, with the 50,000 rupees, you can do it in the controlled environment. That's what we need to think. And sustainable supply chain management. If you look at artificial intelligence as a global, yes, artificial intelligence can be used where food is more wasted, where we can use. So such type of things, that's what the target is. Right now, $1 billion worth is the food is wasted. So we wanted to reduce to 2025 to 50%. It is possible, but it's a big challenge. Yes, all we have to work together to do that. And packaging technologies, yes, you take the coffee along with that cup, you can drink, you can eat as well. That is the biscuit cookies are there in the coffee cup, like how we take the ice cream with the cones. So like that, we need to develop some novel and next generation packaging material, edible packaging, intelligent packaging, smart packaging. And this is what we need to think, the small micro enterprises. When most of the products right now in the metros are sold, like 30% of the products sold in the metros in the supermarkets. So how we pick the product when we go into the supermarket, where your eyeball is going, there only you are picking. So how to track that eyeball, where I am looking at, which color I like, my son what like, my daughter what likes. So this is the what we need to think, the where is the eyeball moved, can we track that on systematically? Yes, IFPT is doing such type of research, so this can be tracked and making the data analysis, because big data will get the full data, then you can decide according to that shape of the packaging material, shape of the bottles, what is the labeling, what is the label color, the design of the label, all the things we can do. Nutritional security is the one, but one, our average age is 62.5. Even some portion of the world, they used to live more than 100 years, the blue zone area. Why we are losing so much? Almost 20 years, like for example, America 82.5, Australia is 82. So why we are losing around 20 years of lifespan? Because of the nutrition and the lifestyle water. Except selenium and vitamin C, most of the micronutrient absorbs less than 50%. Look at iron, absorbs only 10%. That's what our country, if I'll take more than 250 students and participants today are attending, I'll take the blood sample of all the things. I know very well, 50% may be the anemic. So how to do that? Because we are thinking the supplement of the iron, either ferrous or ferric. And what are the things is happening if it goes to the systemic circulation, especially in the intestinal system? Can we enhance this 10% to 30% of the absorption in the intestine? If you're able to do that, is the great contribution. Look at that nanotechnology. It maybe helps. Reduce the particle size less than 500 nanometers. Yes, it goes for the absorption of almost 100%, because your food technology, I'm happy to see food technology in Indian University under the chemical engineering department, and most of the foreign universities like that, because this food engineering is the part of chemical engineering. And you know that if you understand the Fick's law, yes, if you reduce the particle size, you increase the surface area, is absorbs most. 80% of the molecules is diffuse in the such type of diffusion. Yes, it's possible to do that. That's what green tea catechins per cup of what you are taking. The most of the people now love to take green tea. Keeping the mind is, yes, you can reduce the weight. Yes, provided your catechins, what is the present in the green tea has to be absorbed in our body. But what is happening in the reality? It absorbs only 2% in your body. Per cup of the green tea has the only 10 milligram of the catechins. Among the 10 milligram, only 2% absorbs how much benefit you are going to get. If you enhance this 10 milligram to 100 milligram, what is the other alternative? We can go for the technology to make nanosized particle. That's what electrospraying technology has been developed to produce the nanosized particle around 400 nanometer size. Now, DBT has brought guideline to usage of nano material in India, especially agri and food matrix. Last July, we brought that guidelines. Very few countries brought the guidelines. So we need to capitalize that on to for food system to supplement that one. Can we bring all our nutrient in nano size? For example, vitamin A, all the supplements. Can we do that? It's a great challenge, because till date we don't have any equipment to produce continuous production of the nanoparticles. So great challenge in front of us. First, we need to think such type of research. Then we need to convert that into the large scale production unit. Yes, it's possible to do that. And the regulations, yes. For example, reducing the salt, fat, and sugar is that's what people are suggesting. Future, if you increase the salt and sugar, taxation going to come. Second thing, in our food industry and our food system, we use salt not only for the taste, we use as the preservation as well, including the sugar. Some of the sugar syrup we use for the fruits and vegetable. How to reduce it? How to balance it? What is the alternative to us? If you make it alternative, cost will go up. The product can't sustain the market. For example, we develop the salt. Yes, it is the 30% less salt than the normal salt. Only sodium chloride, just manipulating the particle size and the morphologies. Yes, it's possible. But can we convert this into the industry scale? Yes, big challenge. But we need to do before regulation comes. As of now, my view, these are the 4 technologies definitely going to dominate very soon. And this will help to sustain our industry. We need to upgrade. For example, waste utilization, IoT-based technologies, especially for the big data analysis, AI and blockchain application, we need to adapt our industry very quickly. These are the technologies definitely will help us to move on very fast and keeping our industry sustainable manner. Again, hypershore processing frozen foods. Yes, vacuum frying and freeze drying. It is the market is continuously demanding. We need to understand when we do the vacuum frying, what is the mass transfer coefficient of the oil and oil uptake or water out, how the water molecule and oil transport during the frying systems, that we need to understand. We need to play around that. And freeze drying, fresh cut vegetables can be done in the freeze dried. A lot of things now, evening snacks, they made the product from the freeze dried product. And the sugar salt reduction technologies definitely has the edge. These are the technologies which is going to dominate, and we need to adopt. These are the technologies for sustainable industry, and these are the product may going to dominate. And this is the my suggestion, or I taken from some of the literatures, but this is for the very recently is collected in the backdrop of COVID. And you know that now immune boosting foods is continuously rising. Still, we don't have the proper documentation evidence is the immune boosters. But still, people wanted immune boosting foods, non-GMO, organic, food with a specific health ingredient, like example, omega-3 fatty acids, probiotics, vitamins, all these things. Again, plant-based diet. People wanted to move to the plant-based diet, but still I wanted to enjoy my meat. Can we create a meat like structure? That's what people are thinking. But again, normal meat has good amount of the proteins are there. Can I get a fiber into the meat? Yes, if you're able to do that with the same cost, yes, this product will dominate. And ethnic foods and all the things at exotic food, like what I said about insect food, these are the things we need to think alternative to conventional foods. And for me, our vision is to make India as the world food factory. Definitely, it is possible to do that with the support of everyone who are today's join this conference. Definitely, our ultimate aim, we need to make food for throughout the globe. If we are able to do that, we are able to connect our farm gate to the supply chain management, to the export line. Yes, we can do that. Now, the recent data for 10% increase in export definitely will help to do that. And with support of everyone, we can do that. We need to put all our hands joined together to work together, either academia and the industry and researchers, startups. Startups, India is number 3, but food startups are very, very less. We need to encourage our young minds to start their own company. And if we are able to connect all these dots, yes, our dream can become a true India, can become a world food factory. Follow me with all the social media, whatever the update from the IFPT on my side. Thank you so much once again for inviting this wonderful conference.
We would like to thank you for wonderful presentation, and we felt great pleasure to have you in the conference. Everyone in the conference appreciated your kind and thoughts and motivation which you have inculcated into the young students. Your presence was inspiration for us. Thank you so much. Now, I am grateful to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Kumar Ranganathan, Associate Director of Defense Food Research Laboratory and Defense Research and Development Organization. Dr. R. Kumar has completed his MSc and PhD in Food Science and is currently working as Scientist F and Head of Food Engineering and Packaging Technology in Defense Food Research Laboratory in Mysore. He is a gold medal student in every degree which he obtained and the best student in Food Science and Nutrition, faculty by Dr. Kalengar M. Karunanidhi, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. He has developed MRE ratio for Army and Navy, degradable packaging material, and suitable packaging material for dehydrated vegetables for Army, and many more research works. He also developed automation for tender coconut water processing system for large-scale production and processing of coconut sap. Presently, he is heading space food programming for proposed Gangayanam mission, which he collaborated between ISRO and DRDO. Dr. R. Kumar has won so many awards like DRDO Technology Group Award for the preservation packaging of tender coconut water, DRDO Performance Excellence Award for retort pouch processing of ready-to-eat foods, and many more. He was scientific panel member of the Food Safety Standards Authority of India from July 2015 to July 2018. Some of professional bodies like Association of Food Scientists and Technologists, Institute of Food Technologists, Institute of Food Sciences, Scientists and Technologists, Association of Microbiologists of India, Indian Meat Science Association, Association of Carbohydrate Chemists and Technologists, and American Society for Microbiology. Thank you. Now, I request Dr. R. Kumar to take over the session. Sir, please.
Yeah. Good morning. Thank you, Manoj, for giving this opportunity to speak. Due to some reasons, our director could not able to attend. In spite of these things, I will be making a small presentation about what is the current status of the food processing industry in India, and what are the newer technologies we are working at DFRL, and what is the other areas of work which can be done to increase the food production in India. First of all, I would like to thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Eastern University. Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir, we are able to see the slides, sir.
Okay. Okay. The Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dean, Faculty of Engineering, and other the organizing committee members. Previously, Dr. Vasudevappa and Dr. Anantharamanan spoke in elaborate about the technologies, what India is facing, the challenges like that. So I will be speaking about the food processing and technology. It is a state-of-the-art method. We are converting the raw material into the finished product. The finished product, we call it as a perishable, converting from perishable to non-perishable, or the what you call the other commodities converting into value-added products. If you see the technology development, particularly in the area of food technology, initially it was started for the military purpose, because being the DRDO defense lab, we will be focusing more on the development of technologies which suits to the Army, Navy, and Air Force. So these products, the basic technology development taken place for the Army and Navy, Air Force elsewhere, particularly in the 20th century, the war started and given the lot of scope for the development of various processed foods, particularly in the exploration of space, and then the rising demand for the various products. And then recently the development of various instant and quick cooking and ready-to-eat food products spreaded with the market, and then there is a scope for the increasing further the concern of these processed foods into the Indian market. So food technologies as a whole, we are making a continuous effort providing a safe, nutritious, and convenient food to the society at large. So if you see this, the statistics or the data, the processing levels for perishables in India is very, very minimum. As Dr. Vasudevappa and Dr. Anantharamanan mentioned, the processing of these fruits and vegetables is less than 2%. That's why they put lot of commodities which we are growing in the field is going to waste. Then ultimately it leads to not value addition. And marine produce, of course, we are a little bit comfortable around 23% of the marine products we are converting into the processed foods, and meat 21%, and dairy 33%, and poultry 6%. Still, there is a scope to increasing these commodities into the processable commodities. Particularly, we need to grow a lot of fruits and vegetables which can be converted into processed foods, particularly the varieties which can able to provide the solution to these things. And particularly the other area where India should focus on the development of food packaging industry in India. See, the growth turnover is around 20.46 billion, and it is expected to grow around 13 to 15% annually. So the food packaging industry, if we focus, we can able to provide the sustainable development in the area of food processing sector, because packaging plays a vital role in the preserving food throughout the supply chain management. And then there are a lot of scope, particularly for the development of various So there is a development need to develop a innovation in the food packaging technology, particularly lab like DFRL. We are working on the development of various. Particularly the development of edible biodegradable cutlery, and then we are developing on the degradable, photodegradable packaging materials. We are also developing the indicative packaging materials where the package shelf life can be estimated. So this already the data has been presented by the previous speakers, but India is ranked 5th in the world in terms of production, consumption, and export of processed foods. But still, we have to improve our production processing capability. So here already I mentioned the food processing industries, why it is not picking up because of the unorganized sector. Around 42% of the industries convert is around 42% in the organized small scale industries, 33%, and organized sector only 20%. So there are a lot of development is taking place last 5-6 years. So the value chain in food processing, what we are doing to improve the quality of the food production inputs, we should be able to provide the quality seeds, inputs, fertilizers, farm equipments to the farmers in time, because most of the crops are seasonal, and then production, we have to involve the farmers through cooperative federations and such kind of things, and procurement storage, a direct procurement from the farm field through establishment of various warehouses and cold storages. So there won't be any loss in the production farmer level. And then processing, whether it is a primary processing or the secondary processing, we should be able to establish the primary processing and the secondary processing at the farm level, so that the production loss can be avoided minimum. And then retailing, because now there are a lot of developments taking place in the malls, retail shops, and cash and carry business kind of things. So there is a scope to increasing the value chain in the food processing, so that we can able to achieve the doubling the farmer income, whatever we call it as, the sector can improve further. And then particularly why India is advantageous in terms of the food production or the food processing sector, because India is the fastest growing economy in the world. As per the last month report of the Economic Times, India is going to overtake China in terms of the economic development. So we are having a lot of potential, and a lot of producer of several agricultural commodities already mentioned, and then 1.35 billion, because the Indian population is a dynamic population, it is a young population. There is a scope for the purchasing power, because fourth largest economy in terms of purchasing power parity, because we have the growing economy in the country. And then particularly the proactive government policies with attractive fiscal incentives like tax incentives, establishment of what we call mega food parks, and then lot of bank loans to the industries to start the food processing industries in the area of establishment of cold chain in the supply chain management, like that. And then rich demographic dividend with high focus on the skill development, because the present government is focusing not on the development of skill, particularly even DFRL, we are training lot of industry people and the NGOs and the small scale people in the skill development, particularly for food processing sector. And then opportunity for investors across the food processing supply chains, because now the country is opened for the investment in the food processing sector. Around 100% FDI, foreign direct investment, is permitted, and the automatic route in the food processing sector, because that we have the full-fledged ministry food processing industries. So there is a scope to invest and attract around 33 billion investments and generate around employment for the 9 million population. So India is having a lot of potential advantage to increase the food production in the country. And then by 2025, India is going to achieve around $500 billion. And then household consumption is also increasing, going to increase. And then there are a lot of scope for the improving the employment and the opportunities, and then the waste levels in other places are also significantly high. So we need to focus on all these business. There are key growth drivers for food processing sector in India. One is the changing profile and taste of the consumer. That mentioned the personalized nutrition, are providing the organic food or the customized food recipe, whether it is a 3D printing or whatever these things. There is a scope for the changing profile and the taste of the consumer. The consumer wants a fresh-like product. So there is a need to develop these growth drivers, and then product innovation. We need to focus more on the development of newer food products with balance in nutrition. That is the days are gone where only we focus on the energy, particularly fat, protein, because now we started focusing on the micro and macronutrients, and then phytochemicals, all those things. And then people also started spending more on the healthy and nutritional foods. So there are a lot of opportunities in this area. And then advent of branded food and organized retail. Now people are aware, because of the 24/7 satellite channels, there are a lot of advertisement is coming. So the brand plays an important role in the food market also. And then rising export opportunities, whether to European countries or other countries, there is a growth in the export opportunities. And then better preservation packaging techniques, because the technology development, whether it is a thermal processing technology and a non-thermal processing, or the packaging methods, there are improved packaging methods or technologies available. So there is a scope. And then increasing number of nuclear families and working women. So families are both husband and wife are working. So there is a scope for the purchase of the processed foods and changing lifestyle, because the youngsters, the young population is changing lifestyles, so they demand more convenient, ready-to-eat food kind of things. And then functional foods, they market functional foods, nutraceuticals, fresh or processed foods, whatever maybe, it is increasing day by day. So India should focus more on the development of functional foods, particularly when we are talking about functional foods. We have to frame proper regulations and guidelines for the functional foods, and then organize retail and private label for penetration, because the retail penetration into the country is becoming these things and changing demographics and rising disposable incomes of the people, because the movement of people started doing. So here there are different food processing technologies. I'm not going to detail. One is a non-thermal, because Dr. Anandram mentioned that IFT is working on non-thermal processing now. DFL Mysore, as per the facilities concerned, we have all the facilities like high pressure processing, cold plasma. We have the separate lab for the ultrasonication, and then we are the first in the country for the establishment of pulse field processing system at DFRL. High pressure also, we are the first in the country to establish this processing, and then we have the full-fledged radiation chamber for doing the lot of processing for the ready-to-eat products. So lot of work we have done on the non-thermal area also here. So high pressure processing, it is a non-thermal processing method technology where we are employing high pressure around 400 to 600 megapascal, and DFL has processed lot of food products, both liquid and semi products, with a shelf life of 3 to 9 months. And here the thing is that though it is a batch operation, we have been able to modify the process methods, and we could be able to achieve the standardized the processing parameters for the other things. And then PF is a non-thermal, again it's a non-thermal processing technology. It is employs the electricity as a electric current is used as a important destroying. The principal mechanism is the transmembrane potential, where the microorganisms are killed or eliminated by applying the pulse frequency in the range of 10 to 10,000 microseconds. And then there are a lot of work has been done elsewhere in the country, but DFL Mysore, we have almost 30 to 35 products we have. This is the package, the PF processing system what we have at DFRL, though it is an imported one, but now we are in the process of indigenization of this processing. The critical thing is the electrode. The electrode, it should be a food grade electrode. There should not be any corrosion, because the electric discharge takes place at a higher rate, and then the short circuit should not happen. So we are DFRL with the collaboration of some private industries, we are going for the indigenization. This is the mechanism, the simple mechanism is the electrophoresis, where the transmembrane potential is disturbed, so the cell is lysated or killed. So we have achieved. And then another area where ultrasonication, DFL is worked a lot on the ultrasonic. Here, one of the things, though it is a unit operation, what DFL is done is the development of thermosonication, employing a mild heat with the sonication, so that the shelf life of the fruit products, particularly like fruit juices, coconut water, mango juice, and pomegranate juice kind of products, we have established the shelf life of up to 9 months with the thermosonication concept, whereby the heat and thermal and non-thermal combination. Apart from this, so these are the what of advantages using the ultrasonication, but we focused mostly on the shelf life extension of the commodities, whereby the application of the heat and the things happen. And then cold plasma also. Now recently our lab started working on the cold plasma, particularly for the surface decontamination of the fruits and vegetables. This we want to establish in the army supply chain management, because the Indian army procures around 550 metric tons of fruits and vegetables from the Chandigarh to Leh sector. This is what we are talking about, Northern Command. So cold plasma we are going to use for the surface decontamination of the fruits and vegetables in the army supply chain management. We are starting working on the cold plasma for the fruits and vegetable surface decontamination. This is the mechanism where the treatment of raw and dried products can be established, surface decontamination eggs, and then wastewater treatment and sterilization of packaging material. But we are focusing on the fruits and vegetables for the decontamination. Then irradiation, of course, because being a DRDO Defense Laboratory, we have the two other what we call irradiation facility. One at Defense Laboratory Jodhpur, we have the capacity around 5 tons. Yeah, what we call a continuous operation, the Ravi facility we have, and the neighboring states like Rajasthan and Maharashtra and other states, they are using this facility at Jodhpur. The similar line we have established at DFL Mysore also, a gamma chamber, where we have done a lot of work on the irradiation of the spices, irradiation of the other processed commodities, particularly the meat and the non-vegetarian products. And then by employing irradiation also, we have done the combination processing. both retard processing and then irradiation, gamma irradiation we combined. We are the first in the country and Asian countries to establish the combination of the radiation with the thermal sterilization, whereby the lethality rate or the thermal abuse on the some selected around 20 ADT products we could able to reduce the F0 value from 7 to 3.5, both for the vegetarian and non-vegetarian products. Lot of publication we have made on this irradiation and combination processing. This is the chamber where we have at Jodhpur. This is the gamma chamber with the copal 60 as a source. It is a 5-ton capacity facility, and now we are allowing the industries also to come and use at the Jodhpur facility. And then these are some of the recent article. I want to talk about the application of the newer technologies or the newer things which is coming up in the food processing field also. One is the robot, an automatic device that performs the functions whereby the mimicking of the human brain can be achieved. So there are a lot of classification of the, as per the Robotic Institute of America, the robot is a reprogrammable. You can program into multifunctional manipulator to design and move the parts or the specialized devices. Particularly during the COVID time, these robots are helping a lot in the delivery of the medicine and other things. So there are a lot of classification of the robots available in the industry, that is articulated or the serial giant robot or cylindrical robot or spherical robot or the Cartesian robot or scalar or parallel robots. So there are a lot of applications available for the robots in the total in the industry, particularly the automotive industry, and then assembly lines, and then medical laboratories, particularly in the surgery and pharmaceutical industry, and then nuclear energy. Even India, PRC and other people, they are using the robots in the nuclear energy field, and particularly in the agriculture field, food industry, and spatial explorations, customer service, arts and entertainment, robotics. There are a lot of applications robot is doing in the food industry. One is the including the picking, packing, and palletizing. So the future we should focus on the application of robot in the food industry, in the sense we should be able to utilize this automation. Particularly the packaging is the best developed sector for the food industries. There are other applications like many other products like fish. Robotics in retail sector to become the next frontier in the food industry. Particularly if you see the Amazon or the Walmart in US, countries like US and other places, the complete what you call the retail sector is now going to be occupied by the robotics. There are a lot of what you call media reports available that the robots are able to provide the entire selection of your products, and then building everything it takes care, and you need not to do any manual operation. So the retail sector is going to benefit. And then one of the main concerns of the food industry is the risk of contamination, microbiological, chemical, or foreign sources. So the robots can successfully perform high hygienic operations, whereby there won't be any cross contamination or less chance of the contamination happens in the your aseptic conditions. The best robot technologies for the food industry is the SCARA, that is the selective compliant articulated robot arm, which can be used for in the food industries. And then these are some of the photos where the students and the food industry technologists can look into these things. One is the food inspection. IP668 vision sensor measures the diameter and color quality of the pizza crust. See, there are a lot of what you call minute things which can be examined by use of these vision sensor robots. And the another is the fill volume verification. Earlier in the filling on the canning line, we used to do the manual operation, and then later it went to X-ray what you call determination. Now the robots are employed. Particularly the ultrasonic sensor verify the level of liquids in content before filling, whether in the beverage industries, alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverages. These robots can be employed to see the fill volume, whether it is exactly matching the fill volume in the assembly line. And another is the plastic wrap reduction. QL56 luminescent sensor detects safety of the seals on cans before packaging. Is there any tamper-proof is happening, or whether the sealing is proper? So the robot can be used, this particular robot. And then cheese packing, vacuum pick and packing, capable of packing at speed of 120 cycles per minute. So the cheese packing, because cheese packing you need to provide a foolproof hygienic system to avoid the microbial contamination. So this robot started employing. So there are a lot of developments happening in the robot industry, particularly in the European countries. So India also should focus. And once you start to investing, once you start to R&D in this kind of fields, next 10 to 15 years, then only we can able to avail these technologies in India. See, the technologies which we may think it is may not be available or suitable or sustainable. If we go on think like that, India may not be able to match with the technological developments which are taking place outside or elsewhere. That's why DFR lab like DFRL, the IIT or the other labs should be able to focus and invest in these kind of the latest technologies which are available in the other countries. We should be able to do the advance. We should be able to spend on the R&D, whereby the basic research can start and the industries can pick up these technologies, and then it can translate into the product or the process. Then this is another correct label verification, particularly for the barcode verification, and then sausage packaging. Pickle, it picks up the product and then it sees the sausage packing. The another area which is picking up in the food industry is the image analysis. Image analysis is nothing but it is a method of extract some of the valuable information on both internal external qualities from the images taken by the special equipments and then computer algorithms. So we need to develop lot of vision based computer system and equipment so that the objective of this artificial vision and the image can be captured by suitable processor, and then it can be controlled into these things. So the image processing, here the signals are processed and then signal process techniques into 2D image or the 3D image, and then it analyzes, enhances, and then configures and into to give the restructuring image. So there are image processing analysis games, image acquisition, image pre-processing, image segmentation, and then object measurement and classification. Here a lot of electronic input is required, and then not only electronic and algorithm based development is also required. So the food technology people, it is what you call the other people like electronic people, computer science people, they all can contribute in this development of this image processing. What is the application of this image processing in the food industry? One is the inspection and then inspection procedures. It can be simplified. So by the manual intervention, the manual things can be avoided, and then particularly it is helpful for the inspection of baked products. The quality of the baked products, crust formation, texture, everything can be inspected, and then the cereal grain inspection, whether the grains, wheat, pulses, cereals, everything is without any infestation, without any this thing, and then X-ray inspection also can be these things, and then image processing in agriculture, vision for fish and meat processing, and then system design consideration also can be improved by use of this image processing, and then food processing for the millennium, which is the upcoming field whereby the industries. So with this, some of the thoughts we have shared with the participants. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. On behalf of the director and the entire staff of the FRL, we wish the conference a very success. Thank you.
With all our due respect, we thank you for your presence at this inauguration ceremony and for delivering such an inspiring speech. And it was really enlightening to know about the advanced processing of technology in the field of food processing and technology. We really appreciate you taking out time for us and from your busy schedule. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, I request all our beloved chief guests to officially inaugurate the conference.